The movie opens with Iris, who is extremely nervous and frightened, waiting for someone to save her. Her friend Max shows up and says, "I saw that strange message you sent me and came right away. What's going on? Are you okay, girl?" Iris replies, "I'm fine. Don't worry about me, but I did something really terrible." We then cut to a flashback 33 hours earlier, where Iris and her boyfriend Isaac are driving toward the town of Ojai to spend the weekend there. We see how in sync they are, singing and laughing together, clearly very much in love. Isaac's mom calls to check on him, and he reassures her, saying he's spending the next 2 days with Iris in Ojai. At that moment, they spot a woman selling strawberries by the roadside, so they decide to stop and buy some. But the woman keeps giving Isaac suggestive looks and flirting with him, telling him how handsome he is and how beautiful his eyes are, which obviously stirs Iris's jealousy. Isaac takes the car keys to drive, but since he's not great at it, he accidentally shifts into reverse instead of first gear, crashing into the strawberry stand and knocking everything over. He apologizes, and to make up for it, buys all the strawberries she has. When they arrive at the rental house, Iris is impressed by the decor. They spend a happy time together in the kitchen while storing the strawberries. Then Iris wanders around to explore the house and unexpectedly finds handcuffs and accessories clearly meant for playful games. Isaac comes in and tells her, "Let's not open the locked doors. Come on, let's go for a dip in the lake." They head out to the lake, where the mood becomes romantic and tender. Isaac adds to the moment by complimenting her, saying, "You're so beautiful, Iris." Their special moment is suddenly interrupted by their neighbor Steve, who mistakes them for high school kids sneaking away from their parents. He tells them, "Please leave and take your little romantic time somewhere else." Isaac tells him, "Man, we're not in your house and we're just swimming and having fun." But Steve insists they get out of the water immediately. To lighten the mood for Isaac, Iris jokes and says, "Oh, I forgot to tell you, I invited my ex over just to ruin our night." Of course, she's teasing and referring to Steve. Isaac plays along and replies, "Tell me, how did you even manage to put up with someone like that?" They get out of the water and sit in the garden reading their favorite books. Iris asks him about the book he's reading, and he starts explaining its theme and story to her. Then he tells her, "You can borrow it from me once I'm done." But Iris responds, "No, I'm not into reading. I love watching movies, especially the Fast and Furious series." They continue chatting about the films, discussing which part they each like most. Their playful banter shows just how much they enjoy each other's company, and nothing seems able to come between them. Later that night, Iris gets ready and puts on a red dress to spend the evening with Isaac. When he sees her, he's stunned by her beauty and takes her out to the balcony for a romantic evening. They have dinner together, and then Iris asks him, "What was your first impression of me?" Isaac says, "The first time I saw you, I told myself I had to be with that girl, but you always kept your distance and didn't even want to talk to me. In the end, though, I won you over." Iris replies, "You're right. At first, I thought you were a bad guy, so I stayed away. But eventually, we ended up together on our third date, when I was crying, and you comforted me." They share sweet words about memories in the past, and then Isaac asks her, "Has your heart ever been broken before?" Iris admits, "Yes, by my ex. We were together for 7 years, and I truly believed he was the one, but suddenly he decided to leave me. And it broke me, especially since it happened at the same time my parents split up. But you know, time heals. Now it's your turn. What's the one thing that broke your heart the most?" He told her, "The day I found out my dad was cheating on my mom really broke my heart. I went straight to her and told her everything, and from that day on, they've been separated." Then Isaac quickly added, "Come on, let's drop the sad talk and dance a little." After that, they went up to the bedroom, thinking about breaking the routine and having some fun. Iris pulled out the handcuffs and decided to cuff Isaac as part of their playful mood. The atmosphere was full of joy and affection, and Iris felt that she had finally found the right person. She leaned closer to Isaac and said, "I'm happy this is our first outing as a couple." At that moment, Isaac looked at her in surprise and asked, "What do you mean, as a couple? We're just friends, hanging out and enjoying ourselves. Each of us still has our own life, meeting and dating other people." Iris was stunned by his words and said, "What do you mean? Are you saying you don't love me and everything between us is just friendship? Then why have you been flirting with me? Was it pity or sympathy? Don't tell me you mean you could just be with any other girl and that there's no real relationship binding us?" He answered, "Yes, that's exactly what I mean. I never told you I loved you or that I wanted to be in a relationship. Being tied down just isn't for me." Those words enraged Iris, breaking her heart because she realized she had been deceived. She thought he was the one, but he turned out to be completely different from what she believed. She started yelling at him, demanding, "Then, why are you taking me out all the time, going on trips with me, spoiling me? And do you remember what you just said earlier, that you were happy you won me over? What was that about?" But Isaac stood firm and replied, "Can you lower your voice and unlock me? You're acting crazy." Iris snapped back angrily, "I won't lower my voice, and I'm not crazy." She left him cuffed in the room and walked out, devastated by how much he had hurt her. She called her mom to ease the pain and ask for advice. Her mom told her, "Sweetheart, most men don't really know what they want. It's your job to guide him, to make him feel that he truly loves you, and that what's between you two isn't just casual fun." Her mom added, "Remember, on our wedding day, your dad was ready to walk out, but I calmed him down and made him see how much he really loved me, and that's why he stayed." Iris was surprised and said, "But in the end, he still left you and got divorced. So what's the point?" Her mom replied, "Sweetheart, we split up because we realized we couldn't go on together anymore, but that never meant we didn't love each other. So go back to Isaac and show him how much you love him. Make him see and understand that he loves you too." Iris thanked her mom and hung up, then went upstairs intending to talk things out with Isaac, but found him asleep. So she went back down and started searching on her phone for ways to make a man realize he truly wants to stay with you. Google's advice was, treat him well, cook for him, show him your talents, pull away a little so he starts to miss you, then come back. Iris didn't stop there. She kept reading every article she could find on the subject until she found a step-by-step plan of what to do with Isaac to make him realize he loved her. She went back upstairs, woke him up, and told him she wanted to talk. Isaac, still half asleep, said, "Wait, am I still cuffed? Can you just unlock me?" But Iris replied, "No, I'm not unlocking you. I have a better idea. What if you stay here in this room with me for 12 hours? Maybe during that time, you'll see our relationship as something more than just friendship. The thing is, you don't really know me. You only know the version of me I've shown you. What if, when you see my real self without any act, you realize you love me?" Isaac was stunned by her words, thinking to himself, "What kind of crazy girl is this? Did I end up with a total psycho?" Iris went on, "I stayed up all night reading articles, and I learned that if a couple fights, the best thing is to stay together in the same room for 12 hours and not separate just because of an argument. Some people even tie themselves together to make sure they work things out. In the end, if you still feel you don't love me, that's fine. You can leave as if nothing ever happened." Isaac snapped at her. "No, you need to uncuff me so we can talk normally. This handcuff thing isn't right." But Iris insisted, "I'm doing this for the sake of our relationship. I'm sure you really love me and you won't turn out like my ex who betrayed me. I always wished I could just get rid of him." The moment Isaac heard her say get rid of him, he thought, "That's it. This girl is a real psychopath. She might actually get rid of me too." So when she asked, "How about I make you breakfast?" he quickly replied, "Yeah, let's do that. I'm starving anyway." Iris got excited and happily went downstairs to prepare his favorite French toast. But when she checked the fridge, she realized there were no eggs. So she went out to ask the neighbors for one. She knocked on a door and was surprised to find that it was Steve, the same neighbor who had told them to leave the lake. Steve asked, "What are you doing here? And how did you even know where I live?" Iris answered, "I'm actually your neighbor. I live on that farm over there. And I'm not a high school kid like you thought. I'm here because I need an egg to make breakfast for my fiancé." Steve apologized and said, "I honestly thought you two were high schoolers sneaking off to the lake. My bad. Hold on a minute, I'll get you the egg." Meanwhile, Isaac was upstairs struggling with all his strength to break free from the handcuffs, but still couldn't manage it. Iris took the egg back, prepared Isaac's favorite breakfast, and brought it up to him with a big smile, proud of herself. He ate, and afterwards she sat beside him and said, "I don't know what else I should do for you after making breakfast. How about I ask you about your past and your earlier life?" Isaac groaned. "No, that's too much. You've asked me plenty. Now it's your turn. Tell me about your past, your ex, your childhood." Iris lit up and eagerly started telling him her life story, starting from the day she was born. She went on about her adventures as a child, how close she was to her mom, and kept rambling while Isaac kept glancing at the clock, just waiting for those 12 hours to be over so he could finally be free. He wasn't paying much attention to anything Iris was saying. She then carried on, telling him about her very first crush, the guy she met while dancing on her school stage. She told him how talented she was at dancing and how she used to be the best girl in school competitions. Isaac said, "That's a great idea. Why don't you dance for me now?" Iris replied, "But I haven't danced in a long time. I'd need to practice first." Isaac, trying to be clever, told her, "Why don't you go downstairs to the living room, practice a little, and then come back to dance for me?" Of course, his whole plan was to get her out of the room so he could try to free himself or call for help. Iris agreed, saying, "You're right. I've talked too much about myself. Give me a little time. I'll go practice and then come back." While she was practicing, Isaac tried to reach the handcuff keys on the nightstand, stretching his hands farther and farther until the keys slipped and fell to the floor. door. At that moment, he noticed their neighbor Steve outside, near the house. Isaac started yelling as loud as he could, hoping Steve would hear and come to his rescue, but unfortunately, Steve didn't notice. Only Iris heard him. She rushed upstairs and asked, "What's going on? I heard you shouting." Isaac quickly covered, saying, "Yeah, I was just calling you to see when you'd be ready to dance for me." Iris smiled and said, "Don't worry, just a few more minutes and I'll be ready." Sure enough, after a while, she came back up and started dancing and joking around with him. Then they played cards together, and the atmosphere became very romantic. But of course, for Isaac, it was all just an act. He was only pretending while desperately looking for a way out of this mess. Iris, trying to get closer and make him share her interests, put a face mask on him just like hers and sat beside him, hoping he would soften and realize he loved her. They spent some pleasant time together, and then Isaac said, "Okay, now unlock me. The 12 hours are up." Iris agreed, fine, and began to unlock him, but then asked, "So, did anything change in your feelings for me? Did these 12 hours affect you at all?" Isaac replied, "I'm still not sure. Just unlock me, and we can talk more freely without these restraints." Iris lost her temper and said, "So you mean everything I did had no effect on you at all? From making you breakfast, to dancing, to laughing and joking, to telling you everything about my life?" Isaac told her, "I'm still not sure about my feelings. But unlock me. What you're doing is a crime. This is basically kidnapping. And earlier, you even said you wanted to get rid of me, like you wished you could with your ex." Iris quickly replied, "Come on, I was joking. Why are you taking everything so seriously? Besides, I didn't cuff you by force, and I didn't drag you here against your will, so I'm not kidnapping you." Isaac shot back, "No, this is kidnapping. You're holding me against my will, taking away my freedom. If I go to the police, they'll arrest you, and you could end up in prison. But I won't say anything if you just let me go." Iris panicked. "No, I can't go to prison. I can't be a criminal. And honestly, I don't believe you won't report me." She rushed over to tighten his restraints again. But in the struggle, Isaac blocked her, and she accidentally hit him in the eye with her elbow, leaving it swollen. Shaken, she ran downstairs and texted her friend Max, "Come right now. I did something terrible." We cut back to the present, the same scene from the beginning of the movie, where Iris had brought Max to show her that she was holding Isaac captive. Downstairs, Iris asked, "What should I do? I'm scared he'll report me, and I'll end up in jail." Max tried to calm her down and said, "I'll ask my fiancé, Kenny. He knows about legal stuff." But Iris refused. "No, don't tell Kenny anything. I want this to stay between us." Max then admitted, "But when you called me, I got worried, so I brought Kenny with me anyway." Just then, Kenny walked into the house and said, "Sorry, I had to come in. You were taking too long, Max, and I was worried about you." He looked at them and asked, "So what's going on? What's the problem with Iris?" The girls scrambled to make up excuses, not wanting him to know the truth, out of respect for Iris's wishes. Kenny, still suspicious, asked to use the bathroom. Iris quickly replied, "Sorry, the bathroom downstairs is broken. You can go outside in the shed." Kenny frowned. "And where do you go then?" Iris hesitated, then finally answered, "The bathroom upstairs. Just go up. The door on the left of the stairs. But whatever you do, don't go into any of the other rooms. There are personal things." Kenny headed upstairs toward the bathroom, but he was already suspicious, especially after he heard the sound of running water caused by Isaac trying to make noise from the shower. But Kenny respected Iris's wishes and didn't open any of the other doors. He went back downstairs, and right away Max told him the truth. "Look, the reality is Iris tied Isaac to the bed upstairs. He's accusing her of kidnapping, and she's terrified she'll go to jail. Can you tell us what to do?" Kenny shook his head and said, "In a case like this, you're definitely looking at jail time, especially if there's physical evidence. Did you hit him or anything?" Iris admitted, "Yes, I accidentally hit him while I was trying to tie him up." Kenny replied, "Then your best option is to untie him and go to the police. Explain that you never meant to kidnap him, that it was just some twisted attempt to make him love you. Maybe then they'll believe you, and everything can be resolved." But Iris panicked. "They'll never believe me, especially since his uncle is a well-known senator. The police will definitely take his side." At that point, Kenny decided to go upstairs to see Isaac's condition. He found him still tied up, looking miserable, then came back down and told the girls, "This situation is really bad, and now, because we know about it and haven't helped him, we could all get into trouble too. But I'm the type who stays on the ship until it sinks. I don't run away. And you, Max, my love, you're my ship." Max gasped. "Are you serious? You mean I could go to jail too? I came to America on a visa, and if they accuse me of being an accomplice in a kidnapping, I'll be deported. All the money I spent on this visa will go to waste." Then she nervously suggested, "I have an idea. We could hit him on the head until he loses his memory. The only risk is we might accidentally kill him." Iris, already unstable, added, "Or we could just finish him off and bury him in the woods. That way we'd be safe safe from prison. Of course, their voices were loud enough for Isaac to hear everything. He lay there listening, cursing the day he ever met Iris. Kenny cut them off angrily. Are you two insane? Who are you planning to finish off? Do you realize you'd be ruining our lives completely? I'm not agreeing to this madness. The girls quickly backpedaled. Relax. We were just joking. We're not going to kill anyone. We'll find a way out of this safely. Eventually, hunger set in, and they prepared some food. They brought it upstairs to eat near Isaac. Iris even offered him some, saying, "Come on, eat with us." But Isaac refused, terrified she might have poisoned the food. She kept insisting, "Come on, I don't want to hurt you. I just want to get out of this safe without going to prison." When Isaac told her, "Don't worry, I won't report you," she shot back, "There's no way I can believe you after everything you've done to me." At that moment, Max pulled Kenny aside to figure out a way to make Isaac lose his memory so he couldn't accuse Iris of anything. Meanwhile, Iris turned back to Isaac and demanded, "Aren't you even going to apologize for putting me in this situation? You're the reason for all of this. You gave me hope and then betrayed me. Do you forget how much you used to flirt with me, buy me gifts, and take me out?" Isaac responded coldly, "I never meant to tell you I loved you. I was just being nice, enjoying my time with you. That's all." The argument escalated, with both of them shouting over who was right and who was wrong. Just then, Kenny returned and told Iris, "Max wants you downstairs." He stayed behind with Isaac and quietly said, "I'd like to help you, but I can't. You'll just have to wait until they figure out a way to make sure you won't go to the cops." Downstairs, Max finished a phone call and told Iris, "I've got the solution. Remember my cousin who messes around with potions and stuff? I asked him, and he gave me a recipe to make someone lose their memory. We'll give it to Isaac." Iris looked at her doubtfully and said, "Look, you're my best friend, and I love you, but this whole magic potion stuff doesn't sound real to me." Max insisted, "I trust my cousin. Let's try it. We've got nothing to lose." So they went back inside and began preparing the mixture they planned to give Isaac. Upstairs, Kenny was sitting with Isaac, flipping through his book. Isaac asked him to open the window because the air was stuffy, and Kenny did so. Then he went back down when the girls called him. Out in the garden, away from Isaac's ears, they explained the entire plan to him and told him he'd have to make sure Isaac drank the potion. Kenny agreed reluctantly. "Fine, but it'll look suspicious if I give it to him and don't drink anything myself." Max reassured him, "You're right, I'll make you some tea with it." A little later, Kenny returned upstairs and handed Isaac the drink. They sat together, chatting casually, as Isaac eyed the cup with suspicion. Downstairs, Iris was lamenting to Max, "I'm so tired of this. When will I ever find the right person to be with?" Max tried to reassure her, "Don't worry, everything happens in its own time. For now, let's just finish the ritual so the potion works." They sat by the fire, chanting strange words over and over, hoping the mixture would truly erase Isaac's memory. Afterward, Iris went upstairs, curled up beside Isaac, and drifted off, planning for him to wake up with her in his arms and believe nothing had happened. That night, Isaac dreamed of Iris in one of their usual romantic moments, but in the dream she leaned in close and whispered, "I hate you." He woke up startled to find her lying in his arms, smiling sweetly. And indeed, his mind was blank. He remembered nothing from the day before. He thought they had simply spent the evening laughing and playing until they both fell asleep. Iris, thrilled to confirm that the potion had worked, immediately unlocked his cuffs so he could get up and use the bathroom. While Isaac was in the bathroom, she ran back to Max and Kenny and told them to leave quietly. He had woken up but didn't remember a thing. The three of them began sneaking down the stairs so Isaac wouldn't notice, but he unexpectedly stepped out of the bathroom and caught them. Iris covered quickly. "They came earlier, but I didn't want to wake you and bother you. What do you say we make breakfast together?" Isaac agreed easily. "Sure, let's make a strawberry pie. We bought so many strawberries anyway." Everyone nodded, relieved, until Isaac added casually, "But I think I left the flour in the car. Give me the keys, Iris, and I'll go grab it." She handed him the keys without hesitation, then happily turned to Max to celebrate that the magic had worked. But while the girls were cheering over their victory, Kenny noticed something was off. He leaned in and warned them, "Guys, look, he's not getting flour. He's escaping." The truth then came clear in a flashback. When Isaac had asked Kenny to open the window earlier, he had overheard everything. The chanting, the plan to use a memory potion, all of it. He hadn't forgotten anything. He was only pretending. Realizing the situation was about to collapse, Iris grabbed Max's hand and whispered desperately, "Go, get out of here. When the police come, I'll tell them I forced you to stay with me. You'll be safe. It's all on me." She went upstairs to her room, heartbroken, replaying every memory she had with Isaac. It was clear that the thought of losing him was tearing her apart. When she came back down, she was surprised to find Max still there. She hadn't left. Just then, the police called. Iris froze, whispering, That's it. He must have reported us. But to her shock, the officer told her they had found her car wrecked with no one inside. He asked, was it stolen? Because there's no trace of anyone in it. Iris replied, no, I lent it to my fiancé, but he's not really a good driver. The officer gave her the location where the car had been found so she could collect her belongings if she wanted. Iris went with them, but on the way, she was stopped by her neighbor Steve, who told her he had heard a young man calling her name deep in the woods. She asked Max to take Kenny and meet the officer at the car while she followed Steve's directions. Iris ran through the forest, shouting Isaac's name, until she finally heard his voice calling back. She found him injured, his leg unable to move, and quickly called an ambulance. Kneeling beside him, she whispered, I'm sorry. Everything that happened was because of me. I thought I could save our relationship this way, but I was wrong. I wanted to believe being together would change your feelings. But the truth is, I can't force anyone to love me. Can you at least be honest with me one last time? Isaac looked at her and said, the truth is, I don't believe in love. To me, it's a failed project. You're the opposite. You're hopeful and believe love is unbreakable. But from my experience, love ends when one person gets bored or becomes miserable. Maybe the couple stays together, but the feelings aren't mutual. And when that happens, one of them suffers. In the end, love always collapses. Iris shook her head, disagreeing. No, it doesn't always have to end that way. It can work if both people choose to fight for it. Isaac sighed. Maybe, but I know I was wrong for not being honest with you from the start. I'm sorry. Iris smiled faintly and said, it's okay. What matters is that you're alive. The movie ends with paramedics securing Isaac to a stretcher for safety, but his face tightens with discomfort at the restraints, clearly traumatized by everything Iris had put him through. Iris stood there, watching him being loaded into the ambulance, sadness in her eyes. As the vehicle drove away, it was as if she was silently asking herself, maybe if he had stayed with me longer, he would have loved me? And with that haunting thought, the film comes to its close.